Hi, I'm Joshua.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Welcome to the Brothers Judah Show.
Welcome.
And today we are talking about wrath. We're almost through the sub-series on the 7 deadly sins.
Wrath and pride, only 2 left.
Yeah.
So
We're saving the worst for last.
yeah.
So,
Well, do you want to start it off, or should I mention some times in the past I've had wrath? I've had it flow through me.
well, I think you and I have had a lot. Well, I think first we should distinguish between wrath and anger.
Okay.
Because to me, wrath has a part of vengeance or a part of directing it towards another person in it. Whereas anger, I feel like anger is a healthy human emotion, but if it's directed at another person, that could be considered wrath.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
So that means sometime. Okay. Because one thing that I've thought of was all those times I was breaking my phone. I don't know if that was wrath then.
Well, it's not directed at a person, but
it
still caused
was directed at the
consequences.
person hanging up on me. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Bible says, and I wanted to look this up before, but I forgot. It says something about, when you're angry, you commit murder. Angry at someone, you commit murder. But
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's in the, it all has to do with what's in the heart. Is kind of like acting it out.
Yeah,
where it's same with the lust. If you're looking at a girl and thinking it in your mind, and then you're almost committing adultery in your heart there.
Yeah.
So same with anger. If you're angry at someone and you're thinking you want to kill them, I mean, obviously acting it out has consequences. But
just feeling it and directing it at them. I mean, you and I as brothers, we had a lot of anger between each other, over the years. That came up, or
I remember when you used to hold me down and crack my toes.
Well, that wasn't anger.
No,
that wasn't out of anger. That was just being a stupid kid.
Yeah. Well, I guess should I start off with a story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So maybe 10 years ago, I used to have a serious issue with tailgaters. A serious issue.
Me too.
So it would just drive me so insane. I'd be driving and this person would be right up on my tail. And a lot of thoughts were going through my head. But I would just be filled with it. I'd just be, and there were a couple times where I did something, one time, I feel horrible for doing this, but I was looking in the mirror angry, and then I saw the person look off the road. So I hit my brakes, and I rationalize it by saying I hit the brakes and then hit the gas to make sure she wouldn't hit me. So I did it safe, even though it's still not something to do, good to do, but to really freak them out. Yeah. And I don't know what it would get to me. I don't know why I would be so mad, but one time I even got pulled over because this person was tailgating me, and then we got to a red light where it split. And it turned green right when she pulled over to the left and tried to floor it past me. And I'm just like, I don't know why I was so mad. I wasn't going slow. I was probably going over the speed limit, yet they just want to go, And in my mind, I'm picturing them, I feel bad saying this, but I picture them being slow and fat and lazy. And I'm thinking to myself, if they weren't in a car, they wouldn't be tailgating, because I consider myself fast and athletic, on foot, which I feel bad saying that because it's not good thoughts. But here they are sitting in a car, eating it, sipping their 32-ounce gulp, zooming by me or pressuring me to go forward. And bad emotions. I know. I'm sorry.
Well,
but so I floored it, and we both went zooming up, and a cop was there, and he pulled us both over. He thought we were drag racing. So it was bad.
Yeah, that's something that really, but that's one of the main things that really gets me worked up too.
Tailgating,
yeah, because I feel violated. I feel like they're in my space, and they're like forcing themselves on me, and I don't know, I feel like it's it gets me really even if I'm not angry, it gets me, I guess, worked up, intense.
Yeah. Well, now I don't get angry anymore, but I still get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It gets me uncomfortable, and then now I try to let them go by. Because I realized it's better for both of us. If they're in a rush, late for work or whatever, let them go ahead. And then for me, if I let him go ahead, they're now not on my tail anymore. So I don't have to deal with him.
Yeah.
So,
I got to a point where I just started like pulling over and letting them pass. Yeah. I was like,
that's.
Yeah.
But there was a good few years where it was really bothering me.
Well, I've had a couple times where like I was really late for something like important or something I had to do.
Yeah.
And like someone was like going so slow and I was like, and I was feeling that like kind of wanted to ram them kind of thing too. So then I was like, well, I guess maybe, I'm sure it's not every case where the person behind us is like trying to get somewhere important, but
well, that's a very good point. In my mind, when I was tailgating, or I'm sorry, when I was being tailgated, I would always picture the person in the back like some punk jerk male 20-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid, just like being a jerk, right? And then one day I was driving with my father-in-law. And he was tailgating the person in front of me, and I was uncomfortable because he was like driving really close, but he didn't even know he was doing it, he was just driving, he's talking, he's like, and I'm like thinking to myself, you're too close, and I'm like, if I was in front of him, I would be having all these negative feelings towards him. I know he's an amazing person, so why would I be having feelings towards him? We're now in the car with him. He's just driving. And in my mind also, I think with tailgating, which I think actually one reason why I don't like it so much is I picture them upset at me when I'm not doing anything wrong. That's one thing. I really have an issue where if I'm falsely accused of something or if people are upset with me and I feel like I didn't do anything wrong. So I feel like I'm just driving. I'm not going under the speed limit. I guess I'm going wrong by going too fast. But and here they are mad at me. Going, I picture them getting so pissed off in the back at me. And it makes me upset. But then seeing my father-in-law just not caring, just driving, it made me really kind of think, next time I'm being tailgated. What if it's a nice person behind me? What if he would be my friend? And or like you said, what if he's late to work?
Yeah, I think anger often comes from a misunderstanding or an assumption about the other person.
Yeah, miscommunications and
I think
assumptions.
Another thing, so like one distinction is if something is practically affecting you, like being tailgated is like practically real world affecting you, or versus some theoretical abstract thing. Like, for example, in American politics, like there's literally people I don't know, have never met, and just based on news articles that I literally don't know if I trust them, I don't know if they're true or not. Like people will literally get so enraged at each other about these theoretical things that don't even affect their lives. They think they do, or they think they will, but do they really? I mean,
well, I think it's the assumptions and the miscommunication. I think in their mind, they will find a political view that you might have, and then they associate all of this other stuff with it. So if they find out you're X or you believe X or something, all of the stuff that they've seen over their life, whether it's true or not, deception or not, all the things they've been fed, they just associate it all.
But that goes back to it's making an assumption about the other person's intentions. Like when I see a news article, I was saying this earlier actually, that I think is false or biased or whatever. I don't necessarily know that the writer's intention was to mislead. They might actually believe that, and they're just not like conscious enough to be an impartial journalist. So like I don't even know that their intentions are bad. I believe some people's are, but we can't make that assumption. We can't. I don't know. I dealt with anger for a long time, and when I really ultimately like took responsibility for myself was when I stopped being angry. Like we ultimately have to look within and like what are we doing, and even if we're not doing anything like you said, and we're still being persecuted or whatever. Like when I started becoming a Christian, I started thinking like on Jesus's walk to the cross, like when he's carrying the cross and he's walking up the hill, he's being like chastised on his walk to be crucified. So he said, pick up your cross and follow me. So it's like when I get chastised for things I didn't do, I'm just thinking like, I'm carrying my cross, I'm walking to up the hill,
It reminds
So.
reminds me of a story. So I've been driving down a road. It's a side road. It had a yellow line, I think, but it's side road, hardly anybody on it. And I'm driving, and I was going not super fast, but it's a familiar road to me. So I was going above the speed limit a little bit, but nothing super fast or dangerous. And I was coming up against this white van. Who was going slower than me. Now I'm very conscious because I used to hate tailgaters to not tailgate. So if I am going faster, I slow down prior to tailgating them. So I slowed down, but as I slowed down prior to tailgating him, he put on his right blinker and kind of like slowed down and moved a little bit to the side. And there was no turn or anything, so I thought, oh, he saw me coming up on him, and he figured he'd let me go by, or he's pulling over or something. So, like I said, it was a side road, it was a straightaway. It wasn't a passing zone, but it was a side road. We weren't going fast, probably 35, 40 miles an hour or something. So I went around him. After I went around him, he floored it right up to my tail, and I'm looking in the mirror, and he's giving me the finger, and he's like yelling at me, so enraged.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, what did I do? And I'm trying to think, like, did he have his blinker on? I think he had his blinker. He slowed down. It's like, what could it be? And I'm trying to think, like, what misunderstanding was it? Was he slowing down for a squirrel and moving over, and I didn't see the squirrel, and I thought he was passionate. But there's a miscommunication where, was there a miscommunication where then I went around him and he thought I was going around him when he slowed down for a squirrel?
Or maybe he's just like, maybe that person's just dealing with their own stuff and they're just putting it on you.
So here's the thing. So very short after that, right after he started tailgating me, was my turn to the right. So I turned to the right and slowed down, and he stopped in the intersection as I was kind of slowly turning. So I stopped and I rolled down my window and I said, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to. I yelled out, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, or I'm sorry if I whatever. And as I started talking, he's just yelling, "F you! I'll kill you!" Blah, blah, blah. He's so mad, and then he just drove off. And that was that's probably another thing where I felt like I don't think I did anything wrong, yet he's so mad at me, and I felt myself get upset. And then I started to drive away, and at the time then my son started like misbehaving. So he started like kicking the seat or something, and I snapped out at him. I was like, "Stop kicking the seat,"
Yeah.
And then I realized I was like, oh, like he probably got reamed out from his boss at work. So now he's in a bad mood coming home, or something happened, and then now he just yelled at me, and it's like a hot potato. You're just passing it along from person to person, and now I just passed it to my son, and I felt so bad. So bad. I like here's my son just being a little kid, and wherever that chain backing up from me to the person in the van to whoever pissed him off, it's just like it's like a hot potato, and that's really what makes Jesus so amazing is all that anger that he was fed. He extinguished it. Like he didn't pass it, because anger it's not just a hot potato that you pass. It's a hot potato that when you pass it, you duplicate. So it's like I get a hot potato and then I make two of them and I throw you a hot potato. I still keep the hot potato, but he took all the hot potatoes and he just like put them out. He just like he didn't pass it on.
It's like an inverse black hole. It's like
it's a black hole for the negativity, and then like a inverse black hole for the light.
Like a sun for the light and a black hole for the negativity.
So
I mean, that's ultimately as we all follow him, we don't do it to the extent that he did, but we do it in little ways as followers of him, and then ultimately it all gets all the
I mean, ever since I had that realization about Jesus, I've been trying to do it. Like you said, nowhere near the extent of him, but little things. And I've also noticed it too, like the kind of like the hot potato, and then you can put it out. There was so I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, but you're pulling it into a parking lot, usually like a grocery store, and there's a carriage in kind of like in between the lines or whatever, so it's kind of in your way. So what I see a lot of people do is they'll get out of their car, move the carriage, then pull in, and then leave the carriage there, and then go into the store. I see that all the time. And I used to actually do that when I was younger. And then one day it hit me. One person leaves a carriage out there. Now, everyone, one after another, the next person comes, gets out of their car, moves it, pulls in. Next person comes, get out of their car, moves it, pulls in. How many people are going to suffer based on that one thing? And then it hit me. I was like, if I, instead of just moving it, and when I say move it, I mean just like move it to the spot next to you.
Either take it for yourself or put it back in the
put
carriage.
It back in the carriage.
Return.
You're like extinguishing that, and you're preventing future people from feeling that pain.
Yeah.
And that was one example, but there have been other examples too that I can't really think of right now, where I noticed that. I was like, oh, if you just do this, you're almost extinguishing the pain from others and things like that. And it's
like a sacrifice. Like someone did something, knowingly or not, most oftenly not realizing it.
Yeah.
That is creating kind of trouble for others. Yeah. And then by you making that small sacrifice and just returning the carriage or taking it, using it, you're basically rectifying it.
Yeah. So I try, and I'm obviously nowhere near what Jesus did, but seeing how amazing what he did, I'm trying to do little things like that.
Yeah.
Which all right. I think I'm.
More on. Well, it's wrath is a topic. I still think wrath has a vengeance aspect to it. Like to me, when I hear wrath, I think revenge or vengeance.
Yeah.
Like anger, I don't know. Like wrath.
Well,
is wanting to get back at someone. I think.
Yeah. I know what you mean. So, wanting to get back at. I think recognizing the hot potato thing too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times now, and I know I'm not perfect, so I don't always do this, but I try to when I see someone angry.
Yeah.
And even if it's much harder when they're angry at me, but if I see them angry at someone else, I almost always do this. And sometimes when they're angry with me, I try always. I try to feel bad for them because I know that they're in such pain that they're letting the anger out. It's almost like if you're driving and you're picture you just won the lottery. It's a Sunday. Your day off from work. You're early. You're driving a leisurely drive, and someone pulls out in front of you. It's like, go ahead. You let them through. But now picture you're stressed. You just had a fight. You missed breakfast. You're late to work. You spilt something, and now you're driving to work, and someone's going slow in front of you, and then someone pulls out in front of you. It's like then you react, and it's because you're miserable in that moment. So it's much easier to react in a negative way. So feel bad for them and show them love. Yeah. Show them love.
But also, like when that person in the van was like yelling at you and swearing and whatnot, flipping you off. Yeah. Like. I think if you were feeling emotion, I think that's anger can be a healthy human emotion. Like I don't think we should just repress and try not to feel. Like if you're feeling something, that's one thing. Yeah. But then where that line is, if you cross that line to wanting to get back at them, that I think is wrath.
It's how we process it.
Yeah. If you feel it, but then forgive them, you heal it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think we shouldn't feel anger. I think it's how we.
Yes, that's an important distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I agree with that.
Yeah. All right.
Let's want to end
the
wrath.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Next week we'll do pride. We'll finish the 7 deadly sins.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care.
Bye.